I've heard anyway, I don't know if it's true, that you, Mulaney, and Armisen had a text exchange going for a while.
We still do.
Where you're the Van Halen brothers?
Oh, well, no, that was that was during the pandemic, but it wasn't that. So we've had basically since the March 2020 until now, we have a text chain and we basically communicate every day on it. I mean, our girlfriends and wives, are you texting with John and Kimmel sometimes and other people, but yeah, no, it's very funny. But at one point, I find the Van Halen brothers funny. I've always found them very funny because they're so talented and such great musicians, but they're very touchy and they would air out their grievances to anybody.
Yeah.
And I always find that funny. And there was an interview with them when David Lee Roth...
They're always mad at David Lee Roth.
They're always mad at David Lee Roth. And it was when they reunited at the MTV Movie or Music Awards. And it was just funny how it was like, and then, so Dave just goes up there and, it was like Eddie Van Halen's like, Dave just goes up there, he's bopping and booping, doing his Dave thing. He's very disrespectful to Beck. And then you hear Alex Van Halen going, yeah, very disrespectful. Very disrespectful to Beck. And I sent it to Mulaney and Fred. And Mulaney said, could you imagine getting rear-ended by these guys? And then it just started us getting rear-ended, the conversation, and then them holding a press conference. And I remember Fred had the joke. He just put in parentheses, no one is asking anything. No reporter is asking a question. And then it was Eddie Van Halen going, all right, one at a time.
Are they still mad at David Lee Roth, even though he wasn't involved in the accident?
Yeah, that was...
Probably.
I just find out, David Lee Roth is hilarious, too. Like, there's a story, someone told me, my friend Paul, who's in the band The OCs, told me a story. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently Henry Rollins was going into a morning Zoo Crew interview, and David Lee Roth was coming out, so it's like 6 a.m, and David Lee Roth's got this long, beautiful coat on, and Henry Rollins is like, hey, man, I just want to say I'm a big fan and everything, and David Lee Roth goes, oh, man, you want a drink? And he opened up the can, and it was lined with beer. The thing was just all these beers.
That sounds true.
And
that sounds true.
Yes.
And Henry Rollins is like the most straight edge guy around. He goes, no, man, I don't want to drink. And David Lee Roth went, what's the matter, man? You got school tomorrow? I hope that's true.
I hope that's true. It has to be true. It has to be true.
School tomorrow? I was like, I love this guy.
I love it when people... I always love it.
Literally not progressed since when he was in high school.
Yeah, I love it when people are... Man. I love it when people are who you want them to be.
At all times.
That always made me really happy when I would meet celebrities or famous people and they were exactly who I wanted them to be.
When I worked at South Park, he pitched a movie to us where it was like where he was an assassin, and he was like about a guy trying to get his dog back. And we were like, and we had to say, they made this movie John Wick that's kind of similar. Nah, but the guy has a dog? I go, yeah, no, he has a
dog. Famously.
Wait, what do you mean he's got a dog?
And then he thinks no one's seen those movies.
And Trey Parker pitched, he goes, well, what if you're you, and it's like, you're having to go on these missions, but you got to have the band, the band's also going, hey, Dave, we need you on tour and stuff like that. He goes, nah, I don't want those guys involved with this. Then he came by, I remember he walked around South Park and, people, they draw on their desk and they can move around. And so they draw like this. So it's like the drawing desk is canted,
Yeah.
And there was a guy drawing and he just walked around and he went up to this guy who's drawing like that. He goes, and he just sees him with this desk. He goes, hey, what's wrong with you? Long night?
Everything's in a party context.
Yeah. And he goes, hey, long night? And he went, and the guy went, whoa, Diamond Dave. I'm not kidding.
Don't you think that's his life?
Yeah. And
people coming out of manholes.
It is me, Dan. Hey, it is me, Diamond Dave.
We were at the South Pasadena 4th of July parade, and he was just unaffiliated with the parade, riding around on a bicycle throughout the parade grounds.
Yeah.
He was not invited to the parade.
It was nothing to do with the parade.
That's my favorite.
I want to be
and
him.
He was nice.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear. Like, we loved him at South Park. It wasn't like a thing where we were like, oh, why is this guy here? We were like, like we were saying, we were like totally in awe. We were like, oh my God, that's fucking David Lee Roth. And he did not disappoint at all. And he was so sweet and nice. But yeah, it was awesome.